tears and the pain is severe, when the questions outnumber the answers, and we're all left to wonder what's happening here. Too soon a departure for you. Some of us can't figure out what to do, and in the meantime I'll look to heaven for you. If there's one thing I learned from being your friend, is that life may be short, but the music don't end. And if life is music and music is song, I will keep singing, I'm gonna keep keeping on. In the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. I made this promise to you. I remember the things that you taught me to do. I'll keep writing music, I promise you that. And I'll do my best to get out of B flat. But this one we started together. Now I'm on my own, so I'll finish alone. And in the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. If there's one thing I learned from being your friend, is that life may be short, but the music don't end. And if a life is music and music is song, I will keep singing, I'll keep keeping on. And in the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. If there's one thing I learned from being your friend, is that life may be short, but the music don't end. And if a life is a music and music is song, I will keep singing, I'll keep keeping on. In the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. In the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you.
Good evening, and welcome to A Grieving Mother's Journey, Leakland, where we air every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. with open mic every third Sunday from 6:20 to 6:50 p.m. We bring grieving mothers together to share, trust, and bond with one another, and to spread awareness of the pain that is caused when others choose to take a life by violence, and the various struggles we face on a daily basis just to make it through the day. I hope that this will make those that are on that horrible path think twice and turn their lives around. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome back to those that have been joining us, A Grieving Mother's Journey. And for those where this is your first time, welcome again, and thank you for joining, and we hope to see you back. So this episode is basically Grief and Healing Through Journaling. It's season 2, episode 40. And I'm kind of just going to go through some exercises and just some suggestions on how journaling can kind of help you through the grieving process. I mean, it works for me when I journal. I'm not consistent, and I should be, but I do find that it is helpful. And although journaling, it's not a permanent relief of the pain of losing a child or a loved one, it can help to ease the pain, even if it's temporary. Tonight's episode will go over a few things and it'll help you navigate through your journaling process. For those of you that have already been journaling, you'll kind of get what I'm saying. And if you have been journaling already, and if it's helped you or if it hasn't helped you, feel free to chime in. Phone number is scrolling at the bottom. The link has been put on the Grieving Mothers page as well as my personal page. If you wanted to click on that and come on in and join the platform, we'd love to have you. So feel free to chime in at any time and, offer your suggestions to those that are journaling for the first time, or simply just let us know how your journaling journey has been going for you. So before we get started, I do have a couple of announcements that I want to make. So number one is, be sure to tune in August 10th for our next episode, season 2, episode 41. It's called Gone But Not Forgotten. This is a time where we'll be able to talk about our angels. Anybody can talk about their angels. Whether you're sharing a funny story, a sweet memory, how old they will be, memorable moments, things like that. The goal is to we have to keep our angel's name alive. And that's what this platform is all about. So feel free to tune in if you have subscribed to the YouTube page. You can click the notify me. It'll give you a notification when we're going to go live with that. Otherwise, just go ahead and maybe just put it in your calendar, and please join us for that. We'd love to hear about your angels. I know I would, and I'm sure everybody else in the grieving group would also enjoy that as well. So, just keep in mind, it is up to us to keep their name alive with pride, capitals, with pride. I'll keep my son's name alive forever and ever and ever. And I'm proud to do so. And I know that you are too. But most of all, it's for us to speak their name. That's important. And it's okay to speak their name, or, and for those of you out there that have not lost a child, and just kind of, empathize with us, just know that it's okay to say their name. It's okay to ask about them. We love to talk about our angels, and that's kind of a way to keep their name alive, and it lets us know that you're thinking about our angel as well as us. So don't be afraid to ask about it or speak their name in front of us. It's okay. We love it. The second one is, be on the lookout for my new podcast coming. Now, it is separate from this one. This one is strictly for our grieving moms and dads, and also, anyone that has lost a loved one. But this new podcast coming out, keep your eyes and ears open for Low Key Loud podcast. Now, there's a couple of podcasts out there on YouTube where their name is Low Key Loud. Ours is Low Key Loud Podcast. And I think I put that in the comments for you. I didn't yet. I'm sorry. But I did put the link in the comments if you want to click on that to bring you on the platform. So this podcast is basically, it's a little bit more upbeat. And of course, grieving moms and dads are totally welcome. If you just kind of want to get away from that little grief session for a minute, feel free to come on into that one. It's, it's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about real life things going on, real life activity. We got a few things, that, might spark your interest. just to mention a couple, we're going to be talking about reality TV and their shenanigans, relationships, single dads out there. How are you holding up? What can, what can we do to help that go a little bit smoothly for you? Side chicks. Yes, we're going to be talking about side chicks, things like that. For the fellas, like, what do you really want? What do you really want? So I'm hoping that for that particular episode, we'll get some guys to come on in, chime in, kind of enlighten us females a little bit. We'll talk about things like, the Diddy thing. Geez, there's a whole lot of things that we're going to talk about. Politics is one. I know it's a hard topic, but we'll be talking about some politics. We will even touch on abortion. So there's like a lot of different topics that this podcast will talk about, and I hope you guys join in for that. The very first episode is going to air on August 13th, so we got a little ways away. I will set out invites and put everything up for that. But I'd love to have you join us, participate with us. Let's have some fun with it. Give us some information, enlighten us, what have you. You can talk about whatever you want. We'll even touch a little bit on the mental health, even though this podcast, The Grieving Mother's Journey, is, basically for that. But, this other podcast is basically, it's anything goes. So we're going to talk about that. And lastly, I just kind of there's been a lot of things going on. So I want everyone to keep friends and family in prayer. Not only have we lost a few celebrities, like within a week's time, I know I've lost a couple of people. I do want to send my condolences out to David Mann, James Mann, their mom, Rosalind, passed away recently. I believe it was about a week after she lost her brother. So I just want to send condolences out to them as well. I've known Rosalind and her boys for a very long time. We didn't keep in contact a lot. Life is lifing, but she was still my friend. And I want to send condolences out to her. Don't forget our sister, the founder of Mobile Moms, Tahita Washington. Continue to keep her in prayer as well. I know I spoke last time that she did, she lost her son's father to broken heart syndrome. And again, I just want to touch on that really quick. Broken heart syndrome, people, it's real. It's a real thing. Go on YouTube or if you're a member on the Facebook group page, that's in there as well. I did have a cardiologist on at one point, and we kind of covered that and talked about that, and the repercussions from it. It can be deadly, so please, keep that in mind, and just remember, we are on episode 40 right now. So all of the previous podcasts, they are on the YouTube page. They are on the Facebook group page. You can go back at any time and take a look at them. Every now and then, I'll go ahead and post, something up as a reminder for those that may have missed it. You can look at it at your leisure. You can pause, go back to it, whatever works for you. So go ahead and just take a look. So again, condolences to all that have recently lost a child, a sibling, a spouse, a mom, a dad, a cousin, a brother, sister, what have you. My condolences to you, and myself, my admins, and all of the group members in A Grieving Mother's Journey on Facebook. Very welcoming. If you need to talk, if you need to just vent, feel free. Okay. So now let's get into the journaling and healing. There's about 3 parts to it, so I'll try to get through it as quickly as I can. So for part 1, it's going to be kind of a little bit about journaling, what to journal about, things like that. So the first thing I want to touch on is I want you to think of 3 things that remind you most of your child. or your loved one. This could be an item, a sound, a place, anything like that. Think about, how does it make you feel when you encounter that? Sometimes the small reminders can kind of help you feel connected to your loved one, even in their absence. I'll give you an example. So, a lot of times I have to drive by the area where my son was unalived, and it kind of strikes up a couple of emotions for me. Especially if I get stuck at the light, so I'm there, so I have time to think. My mind gets to running around a little bit. And one of the things that comes to mind is, sometimes I'll smile, think about the good things, me coming home from work, not having to go through the light like I do now, but, turning in, going home and, going into the apartment and hearing, "Hey, mama, hi, beautiful. How was your day?" Thinking of the good things, thinking about sometimes pulling up and he's sitting on his favorite bench, either with his girl or his, cute few acquaintances or whatever. And, I'll just think about like all the good times. And then sometimes, um, when I'm there, sometimes I'll think about the opposite. I'll think about, the day that it happened. For those that of you that do know, my son was taken in our own home, in his own home. So sometimes I'll think about, what was he thinking? What was he going through? Was he screaming my name? Things like that. So those are, two of the things out of the three that remind me most, of my loved one. So, it's basically, writing about my anger first in my journal takes place first, because it kind of helps gets that anger out first. And then after that, I would go ahead and write about the beautiful moments, because then, it's almost like, an end to the anger, not permanent, but a little bit of end to the anger, but it kind of soothes me and keeps me more calm. And sometimes it even puts a little bit of, smile on my face, and it kind of just brings me back down. The other thing is, second step of part one is to write about your favorite memory with them. You can be in detail, bring the memory to life and bring as much details as possible in your journal. You can notate things like smells, sounds, sensations, things like that. It can be a bittersweet exercise, I'm not going to lie, but it's also a way to honor their presence in your life. Um, the next step in part one is describe the quantities you most admired about them. Jot down all the wonderful qualities of your angel. Try to think about how you can incorporate those qualities into your new life. You kind of reflect on their strengths. It can remind you of their positive impact that they made on you when your angel was here. That can be really rewarding. And not to mention, when you do journal, um, you can go back and, some of us kind of, read books and things like that. Well, you can do that with your journal. After you've put a few things in there, you can kind of look back and just kind of read through, and it'll bring all of those emotions, good and bad, kind of back to life. It's like reading a story. Um, so the last step in part one, um, would be to ask yourself, if you could say one last thing to them, what would it be? You can put that into the journal. And while you're writing this, please know that they're listening. And allow yourself to be open and honest when you put that in your journal. This can kind of help you release unspoken words, um, words that you didn't get a chance to say when your angel was here. Some of us had that opportunity, and for a lot of us, we didn't get a chance to say goodbye. We didn't get a chance to say the things that we wanted to say, before they were taken from us. So, just know that this can help with the unspoken words, and You know, the words could be about love, regret, gratitude, forgiveness. But consider this your sacred time between you and your angel when you're writing in your journal. So before I go on to part two, um, feel free again to chime in. This is an episode where the lines are open the whole time because I don't have a guest with me, so I'm here to answer the phone at any time. Um, you can ask your questions. Again, you could share your experience with journaling if you have. And if you're, one of those that's been journaling for a while, I'm sure some of our listeners would love to hear how it's worked for you, any techniques that you use, or if it hasn't worked for you, kind of, let us know. So to the comments, let's see. Hey, Ma, you look beautiful. Thank you, Crystal. Love you, baby girl. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll move on to the second part of our journaling journey with grief and healing. So the second part is kind of processing difficult emotions. Um, so step one would be think about what emotions have been coming up mostly, you know, at the time currently or even past. So when you're journaling, kind of describe each feeling, but without judgment, right? Um, just kind of let it flow onto the page. It's a real powerful way to release those emotions. And trust me, keeping emotions bottled up, um, it's difficult. It makes it hard for us, as the grieving moms, dads, or whoever. And this is kind of an outlet. Journaling is like an outlet. And just remember that it's your journal, right? It's yours. Kind of like think about, OGs back in the day, we had diaries, right? And so it's kind of the same thing. The diaries that had the little lock on it, you could put whatever you wanted in there and nobody else would know unless you wanted them to know. It's a safe place and it's a private space to do so. The second part is when there is a particular day or time that feels especially heavy without them, acknowledge those specific moments. Examples would be in the morning, on the weekends, coming home from work, holidays, anniversary dates, birthdays, things like that. And when you begin to understand those patterns, it can actually help you prepare emotionally for them ahead of time. And it allows you to find small ways to ease that pain. Um, as with most of us, if not all of us, holidays, birthdays, and anniversary dates, those are probably the hardest. And as those days approach, think about maybe, starting journaling and kind of jot down how you're feeling. A lot of times it's probably going to be anticipation, anxiety, anger, depression, all of those things. And then, kind of on the day, kind of journal how you're feeling then. Then when it passes, journal again. So that way you kind of have a comparison of how your emotions are up and down. And then you can kind of get into, okay, so what can I do to kind of navigate through those? Um, the next one is things that you can do to help you feel grounded during the difficult moments, which kind of piggybacks on what I just said. There are things that we can do, tools that we can use. One, watching videos like this. Two, take a walk, a nature walk, preferably. Kind of breathe in and just, breathe and walk and try to clear your mind of any negative thoughts, things like that. Meditation is another good one. There's tons of meditations on YouTube, and I'm sure there's meditation other places. And if you have any suggestions, again, please throw it in the comment, give us a call, come on the platform, share your knowledge with those that need it. Um, so, so we've got the meditation. The other thing is, talk with somebody, whether it be a therapist, a close friend, a family member. Um, just talk with them. And those that are truly your friend, um, or family members that truly are there for you, um, sometimes they'll just be quiet and just let you talk. That's your way of kind of releasing. So journaling and talking are, it's kind of the same thing, only with the journaling you're talking to yourself and you're talking to your angel. That's so amazing, right? um, that you get to talk to your angel. Now, when you're talking with a person, it's more like venting, but you're still kind of releasing things out. And when you have the right one that listens, some don't even respond. They just here's my shoulder. Do what you need to do. I'm here. And then there's others that maybe it's somebody that does know what you're going through. So that's another whole conversation because you can relate to one another. You can, support each other during the conversation and, help each other out. So those are really good tools for you to help keep you grounded. Um, so we're going to get into part 3 now. It's 7:20. Um, so we'll have the part 3 and we'll have the conclusion, and then hopefully somebody will call in and offer suggestions and let us know what your journaling journey has been about. So part 3 is honoring the relationship and the connection. I love this one because it's not just the journaling part. Write a letter to your loved one, telling them how much they meant to you. So this kind of for those of us that didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye or didn't have the opportunity to say I love you or any of that before he or she was taken from us, this is your way of kind of getting that, right? The person can't hear it in the physical, but I don't know about you, but I know my son can hear me. And so it kind of gives you that back when you write a letter. And as you're writing, express, the love that you hold in your heart. Speak to them, through writing as if they were right there. And share anything that you would have said if he or she was right there with you. That's really helpful. And you can write the letter separately, or you can do it in your journal. If you write it separately, you can write it out, fold it up, put it in your journal, whatever works for you. And then the other thing is a little exercise. Think about 3 things that you wish you could tell them, like right now, right? Grief can kind of make us want to share life updates, meaning like, hey son or hey daughter, you know, um, I had a great day today, or, I've been praying about this for a little while and it finally came up, and hey, look and see, where I'm at, what I'm doing, those kinds of things. It's just kind of your way to share a life update. But writing those thoughts down can offer a feeling of connection, and it can make you feel like they are still a part of your daily life. And, at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? Grieving moms and dads. We want that. We want to feel like our angel is still a part of our daily life. And we can kind of get that through journaling. Now we all know um, doesn't replace them, the physical, you know, Um, but even if it makes us feel connected just for that day or just for that moment, that's amazing, right? And it helps during the heal, it helps to heal. So think about that. Think about the 3 things that you would like to say to your angel. Put them in your journal. And then if you do the exercise, please let me know. I would love to know how that's helped you. Um, Let me see. So, um, in what ways do you feel connected to your loved one? You can write in there, does their presence linger? Right? How does it linger? Is it in your memories, your dreams, or habits? Make sure you share all that. And by recognizing these connections, it can be incredibly comforting on the impact of your life. How would you like to honor their memory moving forward? Think about those kind of things. Write things in there, samples or things that you want to do. And then you can always go back to that journal and look at that and kind of, step by step, bring it to fruition, bring it to life. Um, you know, Honoring, that it's just, it could be a meaningful ritual, projects, small acts that feel right to you, honoring them in ways that resonate, that can bring purpose to help you feel connected to their legacy. um Honoring could be things like a certain thing that you do. An example, like on my son's birthdays, my son loved hamburgers. He was like a junk food junkie. But he loved burgers and certain other things. So I know one year that's what we did. He worked at a burger place, here at the Potomac Mills. And so one year, I think it was last year, we on his birthday we went there and we celebrated his birthday there, and we all ate burgers. So that was our way of honoring his birthday. Um, vigils, that's the way you can honor death dates, anniversary dates, things like that. So, but whatever fits for you, right? Think of those things and honor their memory moving forward. Um, Another one that I like is, what is something that still brings you joy even during your grief? So, identifying those moments can be a gentle reminder that healing is possible and that life's beauty coexists with sorrow. Meaning, let me elaborate a little bit. So, even thinking of you know, um, his beautiful smile, watching videos, that brings me joy. And that, again, that could be bittersweet, right? It can bring you joy, and it can make you sad. It can bring you joy, especially when I watch funny videos of him. It makes me laugh. I'll look at him and be like, "That's my boy." He's so silly. And then on the same token, it's like, man, all of this precious joy, um, the laughter, the smiles, the good heart, all of that, it kind of makes me like, it's gone. So it can be bittersweet, but try to always think of things that bring you joy. Like I said, whether it be a comment that he or she made, a video that he or she made, um, how is he or she hugged you, things like that. All of that can go in your journal. Um, and then imagine a future where you feel at peace. What does it look like to you? So think to yourself, um, fast forward, I'm at peace now. What does it look like to you? Put that in your journal. It may not be something that applies right then and there, but it's in your journal. You can go back to it and you can add to it. Notate little things like how you work towards that peace. Now, granted, um, our grief is not going to go away. It's not. Um, I'm not really going to say I'm the bearer of bad news, because those of us that are grieving, especially a loss of a child, you guys already know what I'm talking about. Um, but with journaling, it's a tool that can help us get through those hard times. Um, and again, it's something that we have that we can go back and kind of reminisce or reread, look at key points, especially when you write down things that you did that were successful. Um, so yeah, but it's really not about moving forward, um, but it's moving forward with a sense of inner peace, and carrying your loved one with you in a meaningful way. Um, so I guess with my conclusion, this kind of went by a little faster than I thought, but it's okay if I have to end it short. I'll end it short. Um, but I just want everybody to know that grief journaling may feel challenging at times. Trust me, it does. There's going to be days where, you're just going to be writing and you're just, going to write crazy things or whatever, but don't dismiss that because that's how you're feeling. That's what's going through your head. And it's something, again, it's personal and it's private to you and you alone. And of course, to your angel. Um, these exercises are a way to help you find a sense of peace. And as you continue with your journey, remember that you're not alone, and every word that you write is a step forward. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about with grief and journaling. And like I said, I probably need to get a little better with it. Practice what you preach, right? I'm sitting here telling y'all. um, but I hope that this has helped someone. If you have never journaled and thought about it, give it a try. If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's okay. Um, but give it a try, and please give me feedback if it has helped you, or if you have any other suggestions. Let me know. Share it in the group, because this whole point is I'm here to help others, but we also have to help one another, right? And if there's something that you have that will help somebody else, it's free to share it, whether it's by a comment or an email, calling in, or coming on the platform. You can make a comment here, you can make a comment in the group. There's always somebody there that is on the journey or headed on that journey where you are already at. There's going to be some that's already past that journey that you're at. But there's different levels of this. So just be mindful that your journey is not always your own. There's people out there that need you, and there's people out there that would love for you to reach out, um, and take suggestions to help them along the way. And don't ever think that things are just not meaningful, because you never know. Especially those that are a little bit more seasoned in your grief journey, kind of remember how you felt when it first happened, and think about, you know, how you would have appreciated somebody that's been through it that reached out. It could be a stranger, it could be a family member, it could be a friend. But just remember, we all grieve. We're all grieving in our own way. And it's hard for others more than others. But, when you lose a child, um, there's no, what is it, what I'm looking for? There's no happy medium. Like, it's excruciating for anybody that's lost a child. Anybody. How we grieve, now that's a difference. But we all still go through those 7 stages of grief. And if you're a new mom or dad experiencing it, please remember, on YouTube and on the group page, I do have a video, a podcast that I did on the stages of grief, with a grief specialist, Ebony. Very informative, very helpful. Again, it's there You can view it in the comfort of your own home. View it and just, get some information and again, my videos are here to try to help in any way I can. Um, I've been grieving. It's only been, 3 years for me, but we have people in our group where have only been grieving for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. So it's there. Utilize the group, utilize the videos, and I'm here if anybody ever needs me. So I'm at 7:34. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits. Um, Again, I hope this has helped somebody. Thank you for joining. Don't forget the 10th. I need everybody on board for that because I don't care where you're from. Your angel matters, and we are going to keep your angel's name alive. And this will be your opportunity to come on this platform and speak about your angel. Good, sad, mad, whatever it is. But the goal is for all of us as grieving mothers and fathers. Hold on, we do have a caller. I'm sorry, hold on. Hi, Laverne.
Hi, sweetie. I was
Hi.
just catching the last little parts of it. I said, well, let me
Oh,
call and support.
I appreciate it. I haven't talked
Yeah.
to you in so long. How are you?
Oh, I'm just heartbroken. I
I,
mean, one thing after another, but I just
oh my
trust God
God.
that it'll all be all right. But
I know
there's
that's
a
right.
lot of grieving mothers, with all the death that's been occurring. So what
Yes.
you're doing definitely, is a good thing. So I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate
Um,
that.
yeah, it's been so many deaths. And then when you hear of somebody else's child, young
Oh,
adult,
that's
it just
just
brings back all those memories,
what,
and
yes, it does. It's heartbreaking, and it just seems to be more and more every day. It's almost like to the point where I just want to stay off Facebook. I'm so sick of seeing and hearing about the deaths because it does. It's a trigger.
yeah,
It's a trigger
it
for us,
triggers.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
with it being so much that the triggers just kind of keep on coming.
Yeah,
But
and it's not just, on the East Coast, it's the West Coast and the middle of the United
yes,
States. It's everywhere. So
everywhere, everywhere.
yeah.
So,
So,
is there anything that I can do or the group can do to, help or support you? We're there for you. I know I'm there for you. I'm there for
I
you.
know, I know, I know. I'm okay. It's just, like I said, the triggers, and
Yeah,
and then I have to, reprocess stuff. So,
right.
but I'll get through it. I just, whew, wanted to
Well,
call and support you, to let you know that,
I
you're doing a
really
good thing.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm trying, girl. But listen, you don't always, you don't always have to reach out, via the podcast. You've got the number anytime. I mean, anytime. If you just need to talk, vent, scream, cry, whatever, I'm here.
Okay,
Call me.
okay,
Either call me,
okay.
DM me, email, anything. All of those, you have access to all of that. My email, the group page, the telephone number. Just call, if you need to talk. Because listen, I'm right here with you. We're going through the same thing, different angels,
Mm-hmm.
but the same excruciating pain.
Excruciating. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I'm
Mm-hmm.
here for you, okay?
Okay. All right.
Okay, Laverne. Well, thank
All
you
right.
so much. I appreciate you calling and supporting us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
Bye bye. That was beautiful. For those of you that don't know, Laverne, she is a member of our group as well. And check her out. Laverne, if you're still listening, maybe you can just put your link on there again. She's got some fabulous audiobooks and things out there, poems, that's really great for grieving moms. Absolutely fabulous. Reach out. So again, Laverne, if you are listening, if you wouldn't mind, you can either post it in the group or here on the YouTube, whichever. I know we talked about it a while back, so it's been a while, but please show her some love and support her. Like I said, her audio books and poems and things, they're amazing. Um, so again, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for chiming in. And thank you for being a part of a grieving mother's journey, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, or both. And just remember, I'm not monetized. So I do this for free. I don't get any money for this. I generally just want to help where I can. And for those of you like on the group page, I know I'm not on there as much, but I'm going through things too. I'm fighting some battles here mentally. The anxiety has been to the 10th power at this point, but I'm handling things the best way I know how and still trying to be there for everybody else. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and close up shop. Again, thank you for joining. Don't forget, August 10th, join us so we can talk about our angels. And again, you don't have to come on the platform for that if you don't want to. You can call in, you can post a comment. We would love to hear about your angels. And this is not to put our angels, what is the word I'm looking for, on display. We are keeping our angels' names alive, right? We're going to keep them alive. I know I am. So you can be with me or not. But I will forever, ever, until I go meet my maker and my son, Malik Xavier Lamar Davis' name will always be out there. And I want you to do the same. Okay? All right. Well, I hope to see you guys then. And you guys have a wonderful night. Okay? Bye.